Hello, it's the Degenerate and Drew. We're back. Raise Glaze. Not much to glaze. Episode 9. Let's see. It's July 16th, Drew. We just concluded the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game. And we've got, I think, a couple more days off until the second half of the season resumes. So if you're watching this, it's either Wednesday or Thursday. The much-needed break for the Rays. Our last episode was titled A Successful June, and then it was all downhill from there. From those 2 weeks from our last episode till now, the Rays have lost every series. And so let's go back and touch on that a little bit first. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk trade deadline, what direction we think the Rays are going to go. Are they going to buy? Are they going to sell? And then talk about the sale of the team. So when we talked about going into this home series with the A's, this is my friend Drew. Do you remember what we said? 2 of 3.
Right. And then we were also talking regression because the team was on such an incredible run. We were talking some regression and saying, okay, you know what? If you remember, I said, win the series against the A's and then go on the road. And if you go 4-6, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we were anticipating coming back to earth, but was not anticipating having this hard of a crash. I mean, it is as amazing as June was. Since that run, the past 2 weeks has been just as bad or worse.
Yep. I would completely agree with you there. So the series with the A's, well, actually, let's say this. We've lost every series. It's been the A's, the Twins, the Tigers, and then we got swept by the Red Sox. But what the Rays were doing for 3 consecutive series is they were at least avoiding a sweep. Or getting swept, rather. So they won the last game against the A's, the last game against the Twins, and the last game against the Tigers. I was trying to hold on to some of that and being hopeful and being like, all right, well, the team's not totally collapsing or folding. They're fighting back. They're getting gritty. But it was a little frustrating because those first 2 games against the A's, we lost 6-4, and then we lost an extras 4-3. I believe we went down 4-0 early in game 1, and then we stormed back.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you remember correctly, in the one game that we did win against in that series, what were we winning? Like 5-1 in the 9th inning, and we almost blew it.
So this is what I'm getting at, Drew. This was the sound of the alarms. It's not like it's anything new that the Rays bullpen was shaky. You had brought it to my attention.
Yeah, when things were going great, we were trying to think of, well, if you had to pinpoint, like, what would be the one concern? I said it'd be the bullpen. I didn't think it'd get this bad.
Yeah, because the offense has been awesome. I mean, every time you look up, the Rays have games where they have 8 or 9 hits. You know, early in the season, it was annoying because you weren't getting the runs. Well, now we've started getting the runs. And then you look in the starting pitching, and yeah, Taj has been a problem, but we bring up Joe Boyle if we need to, and he's been
even Taj's past few starts have been okay.
Yeah, Boz has been doing a lot better. So, anyways, it was the bullpen, and it's not something that I was fully ready to accept because. You know, you've been a Rays fan longer than me, but it's like I just never really thought of the Rays having their biggest problem is in the bullpen before. Usually, if it's getting the runs, and then if the starting pitching was good, through 6 innings, you hold them to 2 or 3 runs, and the Rays have 5 or 6. In my mind, I'm already checking out. Like this is a win. But that last game in the A series is when I really started to fully understand just how bad this bullpen was because we were up 5-1 or 6-1. We were up 6-1 because we won the game 6-5. And the A's just single. I forget who they did it off of, too. Do you remember?
I don't remember who started the inning, but they brought Uceda in. I think it was just like a whatever guy, a guy who's probably down in Durham or they've already parted ways with. And he wasn't getting the job done. He was immediately giving up runs.
Yeah.
And so they brought Uceda in. And then he ended up loading the bases and gave up several hits, and it got down to 6-5 with bases loaded. And it was a 3-2 count, too. It was a 3-2 count, and he struck him out.
So then they go to Minnesota. It's like, all right, whatever. The A's are still a pesky team. Like,
the A series, it didn't bother me a ton. I would say out of all, even including getting swept by the Red Sox, losing 2 out of 3 to Minnesota and the way we lost those games, it still pisses me off 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So it sucks when you lose 1-score games, 1-run games. They lost 4-3, they lost 6-5, and then they win.
They were winning those games too. Game 2, I think they were winning 5-1.
That's brutal.
They were winning 5-1.
That?
It was the bullpen. The bullpen blew it.
God. Yeah,
They're winning 5-1. I'm pretty sure Taj was pitching that day. He got through 6 innings. He got into a little bit of trouble in the 6th inning, I believe. And then it was Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Kelly, he gave it all up.
A walk and 2 hits on 10 pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he allowed a home run. Not good. And then Clevenger was the one, unfortunately, who blew it. But I'm not going to shit on Clevenger too much.
I think he blew it by like hitting people too. I don't even think they got hits. I think he like literally just hit 2 batters.
Yeah. Well, it says 2 hits and a walk.
Okay.
So I don't
Maybe
know.
it was another game because I know there was one game where Clevenger came in and he literally hit people, and then that's how the team won the game. So I mean, it's been a disaster.
So the Twin Series was, in your mind, the most pathetic, and I would agree with that too. You go on the road against Detroit, and this is the problem. It's like the Rays. You just know if the Rays, or actually any team, we've seen it with a lot of teams. If you sweep or beat the piss out of a team, especially a good team, when you have to meet them again later in the season, they're going to kind of try to be out for revenge. We won.
Out of all the series, the Tiger series was a series I had the least problem with. I mean, even if the Rays were playing well, I was anticipating losing 2 out of 3 to the Tigers in Detroit. So that series, I had no qualm with. No problem with that series.
Agree. And kind of back to what I was saying, the Rays gritty again in the 3rd game of the 3-game series and avoiding sweep is what I love to see. They won 7-3. I forget who the pitcher was for the Tigers.
I think it was Littell.
No, for the Tigers, I meant. I don't know if it was it Flaherty. No, they couldn't. I don't think they could hit Flaherty. But anyways, what was kind of frustrating in game 1 of that series, they only scored 1 run, and it was against Keter Montero. Montero, I don't know if you remember this, he had a stretch where he retired 8 batters in 18 pitches. And that's when I really felt like the Rays were going to fall off a cliff. But again, last game of the series, they win 7-3. The bats come to life. I'm like, okay. Then you go into a 4-game series before the break with Boston. This is
who's right on your ass to take your playoff spot.
Soul crushing. I made a TikTok video, Drew, and I don't know if you're on TikTok, but you should go read the comments. This video is blowing up. Red Sox Twitter or TikTok or social media, whatever, is loving this because I basically recorded myself as a Rays fan for about a minute and a half, just kind of saying how it felt like one of the worst losses in Rays history.
You're talking about game 2 then, because game 1 we blew as well. Game 1 we blew too.
So I'll talk about game 1 in a second. Yes, but the 3 of the first 4 games in the series, the Rays again lose by 1 run. They lose 4-3, 5-4, 1-0. But they blew it. They blew. I think it was. I'm not pulling up the. It was the guy we got from the Orioles. Came in game 1. In game 2, that was when Fairbanks.
Game 1. Okay, so game 1, that was all on Kevin Cash. That was all on Kevin Cash bringing that guy up in the game. He was literally in the clubhouse of the Orioles like 7 hours before he was pitching. He was doing a crossword puzzle, he said, and was told, hey, pack all your stuff. You're catching the next flight to Boston. You've just been traded. And then I think it was like bad weather, so it took him forever to get to Boston. And then you put him in a high leverage situation. I mean, I don't know what Kevin Cash was thinking. That was crazy.
I was just going to ask you, what if you were Kevin Cash's defense attorney and we were in court, what would you try to say to defend his decision for putting? I thought it was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in baseball.
We were winning 4-1, so it was still a tight game. If we were losing, say we're losing 7-1, or say we're up 7-1 either direction, and you want to bring him in just to see what he's got, okay. But 3-run lead in Fenway Park is nothing. I thought it was really unfair to do that to that guy. And that guy, he isn't somebody who's a journeyman, who's like bounced around. Okay, he's used to this. I believe he's been with the Orioles his entire career. Wow. So for him to get traded, I'm sure it was shocking. Mm-hmm. And especially like there's no trades happening now. We're still 2 weeks from the trade deadline. So it really came out of left field. So I thought that was all on Kevin Cash, that loss.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. He actually finished out the inning. I didn't even realize that, but he allowed 2 hits. I think he walked the first 2 guys.
You could tell he was not ready to pitch because the only knock or the most positive thing about that guy actually in his entire career, he doesn't walk anybody.
Oh my God.
So when he walked the first 2 batters, that's when you had to know, okay, something is wrong here. Because even when he's not going well, if you look at his numbers, he doesn't walk people. That's the thing he's known for. And then I think he walked the 7 and 8 batter. So it's like, okay, this guy just isn't ready to pitch. He's just not ready. So I don't know what they were thinking. He probably didn't even get to the ballpark until close to first pitch. So I don't know what Kevin Cash was thinking, unless just Kevin Cash just thought I have this much little confidence in my bullpen. I don't know who else to go to.
Yeah, I don't know. 29 pitches, only 17 were strikes. That's rough. 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 earned runs. So the Rays lose game 1, but game 2 is the TikTok video I made. That was one of the worst.
For Fairbanks, yeah, when he gave up the blast. That one did not surprise me at all, just because the entire bullpen had been imploding besides Fairbanks. And it was like, okay, it's time for him to implode too, because everybody else is imploding.
Yeah, I would agree with you there that like Pete has been so nails throughout the entire season. He's due to fuck up because the stink is going to kind of rub off on everybody. Yeah. But it's the fashion in which the Red Sox won the game. So this is what I tried to explain. Pete comes in, there's 1 out, you're down. Were we up 3-1? Let me check real quick because now I'm not 100%.
No, because we lost on a 2-run home run. So it was.
Yeah.
You're
right. I'm sorry. So we were up 4-3.
4-3 and lost on a 2-run home run. And his first batter, he got out easily. I think it was a little dribbler. It's like, oh, okay, maybe we'll get through this. And then he gave up a walk and then a home run. The game was over in a flash of an eye. He got an immediate out, and then he walked the guy, and then it was immediate 2-run bomb, and you're off the field.
That pitch that I get this guy's name wrong, and this is who Red Sox fans are making sure that I know. They keep commenting with a picture of him. Sedane Rafaela.
I never heard of him. Yeah, I
never heard of him. He's batting .271. He's the last hitter in the lineup.
Yeah,
too?
number 9. Yeah.
So
they have a deep lineup. Yeah, he's not your typical number 9 hitter though. Okay. Yeah, after that game, I knew they were getting swept because you had Crochet going Saturday. So even if the Rays are going well, you're not going to hit him. You're probably going to lose that game. And then at that point, the wheels out are just completely off, and you're getting swept.
So the Rays lose a 4-game series. Boston now goes into the break winning 10 games in a row, which is
since they visited the Oval Office, by the way. Do you remember when they visited the Oval Office and people were like, why the fuck are the Red Sox visiting? They're a below 500 team. Did you see that?
I never really noticed that. No. So what was the reason? Why did they go?
They were playing the Nats. And they just wanted to, I guess, visit. I guess they got invited to the White House, and they went. And it was a big thing on Twitter. People were like, why the fuck are the Red Sox in the Oval Office? They were a below 500 team at the time. Well, since then, they haven't lost a game. They swept the Nats. They swept the Rockies. And now they just 4 games swept the Rays.
Unbelievable.
Well, they had the same amount of wins as the Yankees.
Okay. So
that's crazy.
It is crazy. Now, here's the thing. So the Rays go in to the All-Star break about as dreadful as you can limp into the midway point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in MLB who's had a worse 2 weeks than us. That's including all the worst teams in baseball.
So that's what I was going to ask you. I believe the record in the last 18 games is 4-14. Does that sound right?
Sounds right, yeah.
So
if not that close to it. If it's not that bad, it's very close to it.
So they had about as bad of a 2-week stretch as you're going to see in baseball after having one of the best in June, sweeping the Mets. That's where it all started. First time the Mets have been swept all season. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about the sale, and maybe this all kind of correlates, but the Rays, you pointed out to me, and I want you to talk about it here to anybody who's watching. They have a couple guys in contract years who are playing really good baseball. The Rays are always known to be a bit more sellers mid-season to try to get the most value out of a player. And you've got a couple of those guys on the roster, but they haven't made a move yet. There's still some time. I don't know when the trade deadline actually
is. Trade deadline is July 31st. So okay. We're still 2 weeks away. So, yeah, I mean, I think if I could spin this positive at all is thank God the All-Star break was there. Because, if they just had to keep playing games with no days off, this felt like it was going to go on forever.
Yeah.
So if you want to spin it in a positive light, they got a few days off, and their next 9 games, it's 3 teams that are not very good. They're playing the Orioles for 3 games, which I know we haven't played the Orioles well this year, but still, Orioles not a great team. And then after that, we host the White Sox. And then after that, we play the Reds. I mean, the Reds are okay, but they're nothing scary. Right. So, I don't think the Rays even know if they're buyers or sellers. If you put a gun to Eric Neander's head, the team president who makes all the decisions on what they're going to do with the roster, I don't think he could tell you whether they're buyer. How could you make a decision whether you're a buyer or seller right now? Because you got 2 weeks to the trade deadline, and I mean, this 9-game stretch, if they go 6-3, you're feeling pretty good. You're right back in it. And then if they go 3-6, you're like, well, yeah, fuck, start selling.
Yeah, I guess the question is, if you choose not to sell, and this is kind of what I want you to talk about because you know more about this than I do, you're missing out on getting something for a handful of players.
Right.
Brandon Lau's in a contract year.
Yeah, he's having the best year probably of his career. Yandy Diaz, he's playing well. He's not in a contract year, but you got to wonder, like, okay, like how much juice is left to squeeze in this?
Yep.
Fairbanks. Yeah, Littell and Fairbanks, I believe, are in contract years as well. So those would be the 4 guys that you would have to think they would be looking to move if they decide to become full-blown sellers. But surprisingly enough, the only thing that is leaked is supposedly they're shopping Taj Bradley, which came out of left field because that's not somebody they typically shop because he's under team control for like another 4 years and he makes no money. He makes like $800K a year.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could think of why they're shopping him is they feel like they have a slew of young arms that they really like.
Mm-hmm.
And Taj Bradley's going to be a very attractive piece on the trade market. Even though he's been an up and down pitcher, whoever trades for him is going to have control of him for like 4 years for like a total of $4 million. And they were saying the Braves are very interested in him because evidently the Braves, I don't follow them closely, but they have nothing in their development system with starting pitching. And they do have, some stars on their team that have underperformed. So that could be a potential trade partner.
Okay.
If they decide to be buyers, the Rays.
Right. If they were to move Brandon Lau, you said he's an all-star. He's playing some of the best baseball of his career. You'd have to think the return on him can be pretty well. Yeah. Who would be the guy that would go in and fill his everyday role?
I guess Curtis Mead.
Right?
I guess Curtis Mead, yeah. Aranda could play some second base, but then that means Yandy's going to be out in the field more. I'll say this, even if the wheels fall off for the Rays, I don't think they're selling Yandy and Bilal. I think even if the wheels completely fall off, don't you think you need to have one vet on the team? Because if not, like it's going to be literally all babies. And I think you need to have some vet presence to help like mentor these young guys. So if they do decide to become sellers, I think only one of them goes. I don't think both.
Who would you sell if you were in charge?
Probably Yandy, just because I feel like there's less juice in the tank.
I could agree with you. There are times when I love him, but there are times when I joke about it all the time. I mean, we don't know. I say there's no way this motherfucker's 30. How old is he?
Right, yeah, I don't think he's 33.
I mean, he's fucking 38.
Yeah. Sometimes the way he moves. He's playing well. He's hitting like 280 something. He's got 14 home runs on the year. I mean, he's playing very well. So if you're a contending team, like an Astros or like a team like a Tigers, he would be an excellent addition.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then for Littell, I mean, what do you think? This guy has been so reliable all season.
Well, I think the Rays on him, I think that one you want to wait to the last minute because if the wheels have fallen off, then 100% sell. If you start turning it around, do you really want to move the guy who's eating the most innings out of all your pitchers? Because last thing you want to do is start using more bullpen. I'm not saying, if we make the playoffs, you feel super confident if Zach Littell is your game 1 or game 2 starter, but you have to make it to the playoffs. And he's somebody that every single time that he gets the ball, he seems to be going 6-7 innings. And that's very valuable. So it would suck to just lose him in free agency for nothing because he's probably not the type of guy that the Rays want to re-sign. I think you would have to hold on to him if you determine that you're not full-blown sellers because he's eating so many innings.
Do you think that Shane McClanahan's going to pitch this season?
Well, he got through his first start in Durham. I mean, he's going to have to make multiple starts. He made his first start in AAA Durham. He pitched 2 innings, I believe. Mm-hmm. So probably his next start, he'll try to pitch 3 innings. And then if that goes well, he'll probably try to pitch 4 innings. So he'll probably do that like 3 or 4 times. And then if everything is intact, yeah, you could potentially see him in like 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Great news. All right. So basically, state of the Rays, it's not good, but given the bad, let's look at the bright side. The All-Star break could not have come at a better time. We had a phenomenal June that just sort of offsets the bad that we just experienced. So it's not all the way down. We're right in the mix of it. I mean, this AL East right now, the Blue Jays are 55-41 in first place. They have been red hot. The Yankees are 2 games behind them. The Boston Red Sox are now 3 games behind, and we're 5.5.
Yeah.
So we're right there.
And we're not playing, although we don't play well against bad teams, but we're not playing very good teams out of the break. I mean, again, we're playing the O's, playing the White Sox, and we're playing the Reds. I mean, if you can't go 6-3 there, I say sell.
Yeah, because honestly, you don't even deserve to be in playoff contention.
Yeah, I mean, is 6-3 fair to say you got to go 6-3?
100%.
Yeah, so they're 50-47. So let's just say they did go 6-3. That would bring them to 56-50, and you're feeling better.
I'd be really curious to see. So coming out of the break, we go against Morton, Krimmer, and Rogers. Rogers has been really good for the Orioles. I didn't realize this until recently, but he's been one of their best pitchers. Morton kind of owns us, but and we have Bradley going against him. I feel like the O's hit Bradley really well, so I'm kind of scared. I feel like the O's series is going to be one just loss from the start. The O's get up on us like 3-1 early and probably never look back. One convincing win, and then one game that's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be like a 5-4 win, maybe in the ninth or maybe in extras. That win is going to be massive. I'm not saying if they lose, that means we're going to fucking go 3-6, but I'm going to watch the series and basically say, all right, I'm pretty sure that grudge match of in the Orioles series is going to be very telling of how the Rays then go into Chicago. And if you can sweep the White Sox, listen, playing in Cincinnati is not the easiest thing to do, but it's also our offense has been great. This is a type of team we should be able to beat a team like the Reds.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, listen, especially with how much ground the Rays need to make up, they need to sweep the White Sox. They really
I completely agree.
I mean, if you want to get to where you want to go and you want to be buyers, you got to start beating these shit teams and not just taking 2 out of 3. You need to sweep them. So that's what I'm looking for. 6-3, sweep the White Sox, and let's just start getting the vibes going again and start feeling like you're in it. Because I don't see how the Rays can make a decision one way or another until they let this play out a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's talk about the sale of the Rays, and then we'll wrap it up here. So, $1.7 billion.
1.7 billion. Well, I mean, one thing it was 1.7 billion. It's like, okay, and they have a brand new stadium, but this guy's paying 1.7 billion, and he's going to have to build a stadium. I mean, this guy really wants to own the Rays.
So we were kind of talking about it. I felt like that is a steep price to pay for the Tampa Bay Rays, but it's a group. From what I understand, it's a development group from the city of Jacksonville.
Yes.
They have no desire to move the Rays to Jacksonville. Like that has been made clear. They are going to build a stadium
obviously. In Tampa, not St. Pete.
In Tampa, not St. Pete. I think I was asking you, I'm like, this is great news, right? And you're like, how could it be anything other than great news? I was just on a stream earlier today and we were talking about this. And obviously, if you're an owner, if you're a new owner and you're someone who can afford to buy a team, it's not ideal that you have to turn around and immediately build a stadium. But I was trying to look at it as it's also kind of cool because you clean have your
slate. Clean slate. Because if you just bought it and it's like, oh, you know what, I don't like the development around it. He's gonna have a clean slate, and he's a real estate guy. Exactly. So I mean, in the long run, he's gonna make all of his money back and then some. So as long as he's willing to go in the hole, and he's a young guy too. I think he's like 45 years old. The guy who bought the team.
So, do you think this means that the Rays are going to be spending more money on their payroll?
They said supposedly that even though the sale cannot be final until September, that he is encouraging current Rays ownership to spend money at the trade deadline. That he would take care of it. So he doesn't want to discourage them from being sellers and things like that. He has supposedly made it clear that if the team's playing well and they're in it, let's buy. Yeah. So he's all in. Wow. And it seems like it's pretty much a done deal. He was at the All-Star game with Manfred talking with him. So this finally seems like it's done.
Wow. Okay. So regardless of how the season goes, overall, the state of the Rays for being a Rays fan, this sale is excellent news.
Yeah. The only concern I guess you have to have is anytime a new owner gets his hands on it, he's going to want his own people, right? So you got to wonder once he takes over the team, what's going to happen with Eric Neander, the team president, who's made all the big moves for the Rays the past 10 years or so? What's going to happen with Kevin Cash, who's been there, I guess, 10 years or so? You got to wonder, are these guys going to be in flux just because even though they've been extremely successful, you know how big, powerful businessmen are. They want to, a lot of times they want their own people.
Yeah. That's so true.
Somebody made a point saying that the Nats, they fired everybody in the Nationals already.
Uh-huh.
And they say the Nationals are supposed to make a big run at Eric Neander, our team president.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How would you feel about Kevin Cash no longer being the Rays manager? And let's say we had 1 or 2 more years. I mean, I'll answer first. I like Kevin Cash. I really do. See, I like his interviews. He seems like a good guy to play for if I were a Rays player. He makes some crazy decisions that really frustrate you as a fan. But I'm one of those guys that kind of thinks that like everything runs its course and you kind of get like the juice. Sometimes you just can't squeeze anything out of it. This sort of would not upset me or really blindside me or catch me off guard if Kevin Cash was to leave the Rays in the next year or two.
No, me either. I agree with you. Kind of like he didn't win a championship, Kevin Cash, or he hasn't won a championship yet, but like kind of similar to like when Andy Reid left the Eagles. It was just like, you know what? It's been amazing. It's been great. There's nothing left here.
Yep. It's exactly how I'd feel. So just curious. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, you do wonder at times if a new voice would kind of help things out, not taking away anything from Kevin Cash, and also for him to maybe get a little remotivated because, he's been doing, playing a lot of games at the Trop with nobody there, and he's stuck through a lot. And then, the Rays, even if tomorrow they sign a deal, building a new stadium in Ybor City or wherever it's going to be, they're still going to be in flux the next few years. It's going to take 3 years to build this stadium. I guess they're going back to the Trop for 3 years. I mean, so it's going to be a bit of a sticky situation the next several.
That's the plan. They're going to go back. They're going to rehab the Trop and play there for the next 3 years.
That's it. Yeah. It's so the city of St. Pete owns the Trop, and they have decided they're going to repair it.
Wow. Okay.
I guess in the long run, even though the Rays won't be there anymore, they can have events there.
Yeah. Bowl games.
yeah, bowl games there. Like I know WWE has events there. So like maybe, you could make it a little nicer. And I don't know. I feel like that side of the bay does need some type of a big event center.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Good stuff, Drew. Well, let's go 6-3 out of the break. Who in the division, aside from the Rays, like between the Blue Jays and the Yankees, do you just want the Yankees to keep losing, or do we want them to do we want the Blue Jays to fall off a little bit? Like, what are we rooting for? Are we rooting against the Red Sox more so than anybody? Who are we after?
I mean, out of all these teams, the one that we've played by far the worst against is the Red Sox.
Yeah.
We're 2-8 against the Red Sox this year. We've actually played the Blue Jays great. We've owned them so far this year. I think we've played the Yankees 7 times. I think it's like 4-3. So it's pretty. We're always kind of 50-50 with the Yankees. No matter how our seasons are going, we seem to be fairly even with them. But yeah, the Red Sox, I would say, are scaring me the most.
Yeah.
You got so many young guys.
I don't mind the Blue Jays maintaining their success. I
don't think they're going to, though.
No. I think they got way too hot before the break. I think they're going to cool off. I don't think they're going to spiral, but I think they're going to cool off. Every team runs through this. I mean, you got to remember the Yankees went to the World Series last year. There was a stretch where they're like, "Oh, what's going on with Aaron Boone and the Yankees?" But every team does this. So that's what I'm reminding myself. Long season, every team goes through their slump. The Red Sox did it early in the year. Traded Devers. Look at them now; they're fine. The O's had their miserable start. I'm a little worried about them, but
they're selling, dude. They're selling. They have to. They have to. Like literally their playoff odds are like 2%. Unless somehow if they sweep the Rays and then whoever they play after the Rays, they sweep them, then yeah, maybe they get back into it. But I mean, they would really need to go on like a 9-1 type of stretch to have any chance.
Yeah, good point. All right.
But yeah, I mean, only thing I will say about the Red Sox is they have the hardest schedule the rest of the season. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not know that.
They have the number one ranked hardest schedule the rest of the season. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing for us, but we're 20th. I don't know if that's good because we play shitty against bad teams.
We play shitty against bad teams. What are we like 20? What we were when that graphic.
Yeah, I don't know. The wheels have fallen off, but yeah, I mean, we have not played well against bad teams all season. But overall, I think it's a good thing that we're going to be playing lesser competition the rest of the year.
Me too. Yep. All right, Drew. Great stuff. This is the Rays Glaze episode 9. Let's go 6-3 out of the break. Everybody have a great day.